Younger 89 here with you guys. First off, thanks for checking out the channel. I appreciate all the likes, all the shares, all the subscribes, all the comments. So a while back, I did a video on my CZ75 SP-01 tactical, and I told you guys that I was sending it out to Cajun Gunworks. Well, guess what? I got it back. So first off, let's talk about turnaround time. I messaged Cajun Gunworks I messaged them in December of 2016, and I said, hey, I want to get some work done to my gun. They put me on the list. January 17th, 2017, I got an email saying, hey, send us your gun. I called them just to make sure I was doing everything right, because shipping your gun, you should probably make sure you're doing everything right so it doesn't get rejected or anything like that. So anyways, I called them. They walked me through the process. I shipped them my gun. March 29th, 2017, David called me over at Cajun Gunworks probably about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He went over what I wanted done to it and kind of helped me pick out some of the fine details as far as which hammer to go with, which grips to go with as well. I was debating between grips, and he took pictures for me and sent them to me to help me make the decision, make the best decision for me as far as which grips I wanted to go with and everything like that. So about 5 hours later, at about 5 o'clock that evening, he told me, hey, your gun's completely done. Send me a payment, and I'll ship you your gun. So I paid him. He shipped me my gun. 2 days later, I got it back. March 31st, 2017, I got my gun back. That's exactly 10 weeks and 1 day from the day I shipped it to them. So 10 weeks and 1 day turnaround time as far as me shipping it to them doing the work and shipping it back to me. We'll talk about cost after we go over the gun. So let's go ahead and let's open up the gun and let's show you guys it. So let's verify that it is unloaded. So we're unloaded, mag's empty. So if you're familiar with CZ75s at all, you're probably familiar with the SP-01s. They offer the SP-01 and they offer the SP-01 Tactical. Basically the differences between the SP-01s and the standard ones, they're going to have a slightly heavier barrel. They're also going to have a rail. They're going to have front cock serrations as well as rear cock serrations. They're going to have an extended beaver tail, checkering in the back of the grip as well as the front of the grip. Grooving on the top of the slide. They're going to come with factory night sights. I've changed those out. We'll talk about that more in a minute. And basically all the tactical is it means that it has a decocker. They're the same exact gun minus a decocker versus a safety gun. Both are double action, single action. Some people will speculate the decocker guns can't be made to have as good of triggers as safety guns, but that is completely false. Given that both guns have firing pin blocks and both guns have safeties, the triggers are almost identical. They're going to have a little bit of take up in single action because of the firing pin block. The firing pin block significantly affects the trigger, but if you're even a half decent shot at all, you should be able to shoot these guns very, very well. With the barrel bushing and everything, I've actually shot this gun since I got it back, put about 200 rounds through it. I got a 25 yard shooting free-handed. I shot a group of double action shots and I shot a group of single action shots, and my single action shots were all inside the 2-inch square and they were all touching. My double action shots, they were all inside the square, but all of them weren't touching because I'm not used to double action yet. But at 25 yards, those are really good shots. Cajun Gunworks actually shared my I sent them my picture and they shared it. So if you've been on the Cajun Gunworks Facebook page, or if you haven't already been on it and you want to go check it out, you'll actually see a picture of this gun with one of the groups I shot, a 15-round group I shot. So these grips, these are the Cajun Gunworks new thin aluminum grips. They're almost identical to the CZC thin aluminum grips with grip tape, but instead of having grip tape, these actually have serrations here. These grips feel much better. You don't have that, you have the gripping and the thin grip of the CZC grips, but you don't have that annoying grip tape. That grip tape's kind of annoying. These serrations are great. They feel good in the hand. They look beautiful. They offer them in different colors. They offer them in black, orange, blue, red. I believe there's like a green. They offer them in a bunch of different colors. I like this red. This is almost like a deep red, like a blood red. It's a very, very nice color. So I got the Pro Package, the barrel bushing, which you can kind of see the barrel bushing in there. The barrel bushing, we'll talk about that first. The barrel bushing is very comparable to the CZC Accu bushing. The CZC Accu bushing is threaded in there, and it's also a lot of money. It's like $300-400 bucks. But the Cajun Gunworks barrel bushing is $90 installed, $60 if you buy it and install it yourself, and it's just as good. I mean, if you talk to some of the guys out there that own both guns, they will tell you that the Cajun Gunworks barrel bushing gives you just as much accuracy as that AccuBushing does. And the Cajun Gunworks barrel bushing is legal in every line of shooting, just about every line of shooting, every competition, you can use the Cajun Gunworks barrel bushing. Some competitions, the AccuBushing is deemed illegal. Now, let's talk about hammers, because that's another thing. With the Pro Package, you have the option to go with the Cajun Gunworks hammer, which this is, or you can go with the CZC competition-style hammer, or you could use a standard ring hammer. So you have a couple different options there. I would recommend to go with Cajun Gunworks race hammer. The only reason... The differences between the Cajun Gunworks race hammer and the CZC hammer is that the CZC hammer is legal in IDPA as well as USPSA, opposed to the Cajun Gunworks hammer is not legal in IDPA. So those are some of your differences there. But USPSA is funner to shoot than IDPA. It's almost the same thing, but USPSA doesn't have as many dumb rules, and you don't have to wear a green vest. I like USPSA better. If you don't competition shoot, I would go with this Cajun Gunworks hammer. As far as actual performance, the Cajun Gunworks hammer is a crisper hammer. It's not much crisper, but it's a little bit crisper. You'll actually feel a difference if you shoot them side by side, and it aesthetically looks better. I like the feel of it. It's very easy to grab a hold of and pull it back if you want to cock it. So you have a lot of different options here as far as what packages you want to go with and everything like that. Like I said, I went with the Pro Package with the Cajun Gunworks hammer and everything in here. My double action trigger is 7 pounds 6 ounces. That will lighten up a little bit, but 7 pounds 6 ounces. It's a smooth 7.6, so it's a very, very nice double action. Single action is about 3 pounds 5 ounces. Very, very smooth, very, very crisp single action. That both of those will lighten up a little bit. I'm going to speculate they'll lighten up by about, I don't know, maybe 5-6 ounces or so over the course of a couple thousand rounds, because the parts will break in a little bit. But even where they are right now, the double action trigger is very, very shootable. Like I said, 25 yards. All my shots were in a 2-inch group. Now, granted, I've been competition shooting for about 9 years, so I have a little bit more experience than the average person. I'm no Jerry Michalek or anything like that. But with a little bit of practice, you should be able to shoot this double action very, very good. In the single action, if you're even a half decent shot, you should be able to get great groups with it, especially with the barrel bushing and everything. Factory groupings out of this gun are good, but the barrel bushing just adds to the accuracy, and if you're going to have them do it, you might as well. Now, the Cajun Gunworks package you can install yourself, and a lot of people do. The reason why I opted to send it to Cajun Gunworks is because though I do have some mechanical aptitude, I am a union pipe fitter, and I have, I'm pretty good at building stuff. But Cajun Gunworks, they know what they're doing. They do thousands of these guns a year, and it's worth the wait and worth the money. I see a lot of people install the package themselves, and they're like, oh, I did something wrong, my gun's not functioning, and they end up having to send it to them anyways. If you send it to them, they warranty their work, they guarantee it's going to work and everything like that, and they walk you through what to do. They get the work done. Like I said, he did my gun in about 5 hours, I want to say, maybe a little bit less, I don't know. He called me in 5 hours and said it was done. So I definitely would recommend sending it to Cajun Gunworks. If you can send it to CZC Custom. CZC Custom offers a comparable package, but they're not going to get it as smooth and as crisp as Cajun Gunworks is, at least in my honest opinion. They're not going to use Cajun Gunworks hammer. They're going to use their hammer, and your double action is probably still going to be over 8 pounds. As far as springs in here, I opted to go for the 13-pound spring. 13-pound spring will ignite all primers. That's what most people go with. I do actually have the 11.5-pound spring here, so I can switch it out. If you go with the 11.5-pound spring, I could probably get this double action down into the 6s, 6-pound double action. But the thing about that is, if you go with that 11.5-pound spring, you're pretty much stuck to federal primers. Because it's not going to ignite all primers, at least in most instances it won't. So if you go with the 13-pound spring, which is what Cajun Gunworks is probably going to recommend you, then you're going to be able to shoot all ammunition reliably. So let's go ahead and let's show you guys the trigger pull again. Let's verify safe. Just, you can never be safe enough. Mag's empty. So, alright, let's go ahead and hit the decocker, because this is a decocker gun. Now, let's see. This is probably going to be the best way for me to show you the trigger. Now, it is probably going to move a little bit in my hand just because I don't have a good hold on it here, but I wanted to be able to show you the trigger the best. This is the 85 combat style trigger. It is not as curved as the standard CZ hammer or CZ trigger is. It is a very nice double action. Now this is going to be full double action. I can show you all I want, but until you feel this trigger, you won't realize how good it is. It is a great, great double action trigger and a great, great decock trigger. I'll show you another decock, and then we'll get into the single actions. Very smooth, very controllable, what you would want in a double action trigger. Now let's show you guys single action triggers. So your single action trigger, you're going to have a little bit of take up. Now you're still going to have take up in these guns because they have firing pin blocks. It's something you kind of got to deal with. Unless you get a shadow, you're still going to have take up. The single action trigger, man, it is beautiful. I've shot Browning high power, SIG 226, Beretta 92, SIG Legions, 1911s, a lot of 1911s. I've shot a lot of good guns. I mean, I've been competition shooting for 9 years, and I've got to shoot a lot of friends' guns. And this single action is amazing. The reset is about 3mm reset. So Cajunized has actually measured it. I have 3mm reset. Whenever the original reset was about 6mm, I believe. So they cut my reset in half. Also, my trigger pulls went from 12-pound double action to about 7 pounds 5 ounces, 7 pounds 6 ounces double. And my single went from 5-pound single action to about 3 pounds 5 ounces single action. And both of those will kind of go down a little bit as I shoot it, as I said. So this is just a great, great single action trigger. Again, take up because of the firing pin block. Alright guys, so thanks for watching the video. This is a great gun. If you're looking at getting the work done to it, it is definitely worth it. About $592 for the grips, the Pro Package, the barrel bushing, everything, plus shipping. If you just get the barrel, or if you just get the Pro Package, you could probably be around $400 with shipping. The barrel bushing is another $90, and I highly recommend it because it's just going to give your gun that much more accuracy. And while it's there, you might as well have them install it. And then grips, that's ultimately your choice. A lot of people love the aluminum grips, and like I said, CZC thin aluminum grips are $85, and they're nice. They're almost as good as these, but they have that weird grip tape, which is kind of uncomfortable. Plus, it wears out and you have to replace it. It kind of digs at your skin. These have those nice serrations in it, and they're also $9 cheaper. So I would probably recommend you guys to go with the Cajunized grips. Now, ultimately, you have to make the decision about grips, about hammers, about what package you want to go with. Also, if you want to keep your night sights and everything like that. There's a lot of options to make, but there's not really any bad options to make here. You know, if you send it to Cajunized or if you do it yourself, it's going to make an already great gun even better. Guys, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Be safe, and have a good evening.